if your heart is pumping and you're like, yes, no, I would just say you probably already know what you're supposed to do.
Hmm.
So stop wasting time and choose it.
Yes, that's
Because there's
good.
so much power in, I just don't think, I always think about my grandma. My grandma Joe, she was 5 foot nothing. I am not 5 foot nothing. I'm like 5'8". But she would have loved to have a platform. She would have loved to be able to do what I do. So anytime I'm like, oh, but then I have to learn something new, and I'm like, stop your boobing, Michelle. Just pull up your big girl pants and get to work because no one's had these opportunities or these choices before. So the fact that you have the choice to do the thing is an immense privilege. Do not waste it. Start right now.
Welcome to For His Glory CEO, the podcast for high achieving women like you who have built the business, hit the milestone, checked all the boxes, yet deep down something still feels off. The success is there, but you know God has so much more. I'm your host, Allie. If you're hungry for results rooted in the Word, this is for you. Let's get this party started. Welcome back, everyone. I am so honored to have a very special guest, friends. I heard this girl from stage in January, and I immediately beelined her in the back of the room, and I was like, we're going to be friends. Friends, I am so honored to welcome the Michelle Gifford. Yes, you probably know her from Instagram because she's rather large over there. She's been doing incredible things, but one of the biggest things that I absolutely love about her, she's a mommy. She's got a buttload of kids like me, and she's doing big things in business, and she loves it all. So, Michelle, welcome to the show, my love. I'm so glad to have you here.
I am excited to be here. You are so fun. I was like, let's do it. Then we found out we live kind of close to each other. So listen, it was meant to be. Let's do this.
I said, Jesus loves me, you even live close. Like, this is the best thing ever. So, Michelle, I'd love for you to drop us into your story. Obviously, you are not new to the things of Instagram and social selling and helping other people in a big way. But what really, like, this literally is why I beelined her, you guys. She was like, I just realized there's a lot more stupid people doing what I can do. So like, why not me? Why not now? I'm like, that is my tagline. We're gonna be friends. But like, drop us into your story of when you're just like, seriously, why am I not doing big things in life when I know I have the capability of doing it?
Yeah. Well, I think because I've been in the online business space for like over 19 years doing different things, I think there's a lot of different times when you just realize again, you're like, people dumber than me are doing this. Like, let's get to work. So, my latest time, I will say, I was helping influencers and mostly women creators create on Instagram. I was doing like the back end stuff, like blogging, email, Pinterest, all those things. And I'm like, I'm teaching Instagram, but why am I not growing the way that I want to grow? And that's really when I was like, people dumber than me are doing this. We're going to figure this out. So I did. Like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna deconstruct my strategy, and I built it back up. And within 3 months, I was going viral, and then I just have kept growing ever since. And so I started teaching it, and then agency clients and stuff, I'm doing it for them. So I just love that there's a system, right? There's a system to things. There's a system to success. Also, it takes time, but you put in the work, you figure out the system, like magic happens.
Magic is happening up in there. You just launched Michelle AI, which is super fun because you and I are totally geeking out in the AI world. And like, share with people, possibly listeners that are listening that are like AI, like hearing it all the time. Why are you obsessed and why are you going all in essentially with some of your work into AI in this time?
Well, because I think right now we have like the magic show AI. Like, right, you have people that are like, look what AI can do. And it's like, okay, that's cool, but how do I use it? And then you have the people who are really techie and they're coming in and they're teaching people. And it's like, I don't understand what you just said, right? Like, speak to me like a person. So, what I realized, because I had some of my clients reach out to me and they're like, tell me, like, what is happening? Like, tell me exactly what's going on. Because AI really, at the end of the day, when this, like, this bubble that's bursting and things like that. And I feel it bursting a little bit where
Mhm.
it's exciting and people are jumping on board, but everyone feels behind, which is true because things change every day.
Yes.
But I think that there's just such an opportunity for us to figure out how to use AI, especially moms, right? I
Yes.
need an assistant. You know?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
so there should be some things that I can offload that help me be more productive, that help me be more human, and help me get more done than I could alone. And I just think that there, especially for women, we've never had a platform like Instagram where we can reach everyone.
Yep.
And now we have AI that can take away a lot of the guesswork and the work that you don't have to do. Like when listen, I podcasted forever. And I remember like going back and like editing out every single word, every little and now I can click a button in like 30 seconds. I can have all the ums, I can have all the words shortened, I can have all of my repeat sentences out. And when you look at that, think about how much more impactful we can be if we take out that monotonous work. And that's what I
Yes.
think AI is such a huge opportunity that it's not going to replace us. I think it's going to make our positions more powerful. I think it's going to make our voice stronger if we do it right. So that's why I'm super passionate about how do we actually figure out how to implement this into our business.
Yes. I love how you hit on the mom factor of ChatGPT. In fact, I was with a mom who also has a boatload of kids who was like raising up these little entrepreneurs. And the daughter had like 10 bunnies in the backyard, bred two of the bunnies, has 6 bunnies for sale for 150 a piece. The chick's 11. And I was like, Paige, how'd you learn? She goes, oh, I ChatGPT'd all of it. How to take care of bunnies, how to breed bunnies. I'm like, this is brilliant. And then I asked her mom about it. She's like, oh, I don't know. Paige has done all that. I don't even interact with the bunnies. She's just ChatGPT. I'm like, this is incredible. We are living in such an exciting time for our kids. So you're a mommy of 5, which I absolutely love. We actually, the last time we were podcasting, you're on the beach. You're like, oh my gosh, totally cool. Like they're all in the water. They're all alive. Like it's no big deal. Just on spring break here. But I love your passion to be a mom and motherhood, to have lots of humans and still be a working mom and making a big impact. Can you tell me some of like the keys to success that you have found in your short, long life of being a mom and building an empire? Like, what are some of the keys that you'd love to share with other moms, working moms? Friends, I want to share something that I've actually never shared before, but it's been so transformational for multiple 6 and 7 figure business women that I would be remiss not to share it with you. So I want you to picture this. You're in a room with 10 other women who are running payroll, running teams, making heavy, high stake decisions, and managing everything. And imagine you bringing your question or your bottleneck to that group of women. Do you think that you can handle things which used to maybe take you months, maybe years, in the next 10 minutes? What I found is a lot of us playing at this field, we don't struggle with lack of strategy, motivation, even discipline. We struggle with not having a sounding board in real time with ideal clients and women who truly get the level we're playing at. And that's why I created the Inner Circle for multiple 6 and 7 figure women to play in. It is the community of communities that offers transformations like I've never seen report. And you know what the number one receipt is? We had 100% retention of those clients from 2025 rejoin us for 2026. It's a private, exclusive group and extremely selective as well. But if this sounds like this is exactly what you need, grab the Inner Circle application in the show notes and we'll let you know if you're a great fit. All right, back to the show.
I would first say, like, I work with a lot of women who they really want to go all in with whatever they're doing, but they feel really nervous about it because they're afraid that like going all in, whether that's like starting a business or going all in with their job, that they're going to be a bad mom. And I think that there's such an amount of like, we need to start taking ownership of the decisions we make. So if I am going to do this business, that means I've got to be like 10 times more intentional in the other parts of my life. And so be really intentional about the things that you say yes to, the things that you say no to, and actually just like, I really focus on how am I connecting with my kids. That's actually how I'm making a lot of decisions. Am I making space and time for real connection with my kids? If I am, then I'm being a good mom. That's my definition. You can take whatever one you want. But I also think to just trust yourself to pivot. A lot of people are really worried that they're going to get down this path and then they're going to be this type of person and then their kids are going to be ruined. And then they go down this whole spiral of like, and then I'm just going to be a bad mom and I shouldn't even start. Right. And you have these, that's a real spiral because I've heard it, but you have to know that you're also a real person who's taking in information, who loves these kids. And so just trust yourself that you'll know when to pivot and that you're going to keep stepping out until you get pushed to like, nope, we need to stop here.
Yeah. Oh, that is so good. I met this awesome mom, and she once said they are very, very busy in ministry, traveling everywhere. She said, I give each kid 15 minutes eye to eye contact a day. 15 minutes. And my friend's like, oh, that's mind blowing. Like only 15 minutes. But think about that. How much of us do 15 minutes per kid? You have five, I have four, every single day of looking in their eye, having eye contact, being so intentional with what they're feeling, doing, listening to, whatever, like it is so important. Sometimes moms think that they have to be there becking call for 24/7. If they're not, they suck. No, like we also want to raise super capable humans, be alongside of them, help them, all the things.
Yeah.
But I do believe when we have the opportunity to be intentional, when we have time or taking trips, it's like no phone, no laptop. Like we are taking a trip. We're going skiing to Mammoth this weekend. You should come because it's not far from you too. Would that be fun? Let's go.
Yeah.
But like, I love going to the mountains. Why? Because my phone usually doesn't work at the place we stay. And when you're on the mountains, you want to be on a phone. You don't bring a laptop. You ski with your children and you get on chairlifts and you talk with your kids and you see them do hard things and they overcome because we have to do black diamonds because there's no snow at the bottom, but we're not telling them all that yet. But anyway, I digress. This is not about me on this trip. So I love how you are like, everything's figure outable, right? You just realized, okay, I've been doing this for a pretty decent long time. I'm helping some pretty big names in the industry. Why aren't I doing this as a business, growing my own agency and really making Instagram easy? Like you do. You offer a lot of free tools. You guys, if you're not following her, I am Michelle. We'll tag everything. And at the end, she'll tell you where to find her. But like you give a lot of free resources. You're always giving trending audio. You're teaching people how to do it. Tell us, what is the people that want to get started on Instagram and really kind of grow their brand? What are some of the things that you tell them to start with?
Yeah. So I would first of all really choose your niche. And people
Yeah.
sometimes hate niching down, but you've got to kind of figure out, not kind of, you got to figure out who you're serving. And with Instagram, the great thing about it right now is it doesn't matter if you have 0 or 10 or 100,000 followers. You just have to figure out how to create great content that people share. So
Yes.
Instagram used to be a follower-based algorithm, and now it's a content-based algorithm, meaning that I could have 500,000 followers and not many people see my content because I'm not creating great content, but I could have 10 followers and I create something awesome and millions of people see it. And so you have to get really good at creating content. That's just going to be a tool that you've got to figure out. So that means that you've got to think about your hooks, right? You've got to think about how you're going to keep people engaged and how you can edit and those kind of things. But that was probably overwhelming. So I'm going to back up just a minute. I would, once you choose your niche, I do want you to think about what are some very specific problems that you can solve in under a minute and create content about it. Because once you start doing that, like very specific, then people will start noticing that you solve this problem. They'll start sharing your content and Instagram will start understanding who you are and start pushing your content out to the right people.
Girl, business so simple. They have a problem, you have a solution. Bridge the gap, baby. I mean, it could be easier. But you're like, I don't know what I do. I'm like, what's a pain point? Can you solve it for them? Do it. But that is so key. What is something that you know that people need help with? Because that's going to be shareable. So it is still big. Like if people share it and save it, the logarithm's giving you blessings, right? The more.
Yeah, I mean, because, and what the algorithm right now is looking for is share rate. And I mean, if you open your phone and you look at your last reel analytics, it shows you what Instagram is tracking as far as analytics go. And so you can know what it's looking for. So one of it is share rate, one of it's watch time. So if you get someone to watch all the way through, that's huge. And
Huge.
so you can start looking at your analytics and say, oh, okay, that hook must have not been very good because I didn't get people to watch all the way through, or, people scrolled on by. So watch time and share rate is huge. I would start with those two likes, and then I'd go to views and engagement.
Yep. So good. What's your sweet spot for the reels that you make? How long do you like to make them?
Well, it just depends.
If I'm dancing downtown San Diego without Allie, like I did last time in January,
Listen, I didn't know. I didn't know.
I could do a great handstand on a lamppost, but we didn't know.
Yeah. So if you're doing like B-roll, then those 5 to 7 seconds or, 7 to 9, it's going to be great. But it's the mini skirt answer, right?
Yeah.
Long enough to cover the topic and short enough to keep it interesting. Can I use that? I don't know. Is that inappropriate? I don't know. It's fine. Probably inherited it from like my grandpa. So maybe it is not, I shouldn't use it anymore. But as you're creating content, you have to be ruthless in your editing. So, like,
Mm,
if you're looking at your content and you're like, I drifted off at 30 seconds, well, yeah, so will somebody else, right?
yeah.
So, I like to record my content and then I will edit it down pretty close after, and then I'll leave it for at least a day. And then when I
Mm,
come back and do the final edits, then I'm not connected to the outcome quite as much, right? And
yeah.
I can be a lot more harsh in how I edit it out. So there isn't a magic amount of time your reel should be, but you have to think about, is it easier to keep someone's attention for 20 seconds or for a minute and a half, right? Obviously the
Right.
20 seconds. And so if you're new, then start with something a little bit shorter because it's going to be easier for you to keep their attention all the way through.
Yes. I remember we talked about people want to be educated and entertained. And you're like, so I think you said it was edu trained. Like make it educational and then entertainment. What obviously you're super fun. First of all, you're hilarious. Like you are a very funny person. I'll never forget our $1 billion brand and your prophecy. But anyway, I agree.
It was a wild conference, my friend. Wow.
Wild. It was wild. It was one for the books. But you're funny online. What do you think that plays a role in for people like shareability and stuff like that? The humor card for Instagram. That's pretty important, hey?
So, yes, I think the relatability. If you're not a funny
Yeah.
person, like if you're just not, you don't have to be funny,
Yep.
right? But you've got to figure out, like, I follow a lot of people who are very serious and they are calm. I'm neither of those things, but there are people that are sharing some good information that they do it in such a way that is so them that I want to listen. And so don't manufacture funny because
That's
that's
true.
hard and it can turn out
Yeah.
weird.
Bad.
But I would say lean into who you are. And also, I'm going to say that, and people are going to be like, well, I don't know. I don't know what I like to do. And that's true because you haven't created enough content. So you a lot of times have to start creating content to figure out what kind of stuff you actually are good at, what you resonate with, and also what your audience loves. So
Mm,
don't be afraid to test things out. Like,
yeah.
who cares? It's
Who
just
cares?
information.
You have so much fun with Instagram. I've been in social selling for 13 plus years. So, I mean, people, it's like if you start bringing up Facebook, they're like, "Meh." They just like all of a sudden have such a blase towards it. And I'm like, well, that's the reason you're not going to be successful on it, your mindset. But how do you, and you've been in the game for a long time, how do you still get excited about making your content and editing and all that kind of stuff?
So I think Instagram and Facebook, I think it's really fun because there are actual people on the other side of the screen that you get immediate feedback about,
Yeah.
about your content. And so because I know a lot of the people that are commenting and, they've been around a while or people in my DMs or whatever, I think it's so fun. I think because we're internet based, right? Like we're
Mhm.
online doing all of this stuff. I don't have a coworker. I'm not calling these people on the phone. And so social media allows me to build a relationships with people that I would have never had access to. And I mean, that's why we're
Yeah.
here is because Instagram, gave me a stage for a minute. But I just
Yeah.
think that if you instead looked at Instagram, like a lot of people are just like, I know it's something that I should do, but it's just like, I don't want to. And like, and they give me all their sadness about Instagram. And I get it. There's like so much mindset that goes into creating content. And if you could just like put yourself to the side a little bit and say, how could I show up and serve someone today?
Mm,
Then it changes, right? It changes the focus. It changes focus off you and onto the people that you're supposed to serve. And then you can build some pretty amazing relationships. And when someone comes to me and they're like, oh my gosh, because I followed you on Instagram and did this, and this, I grew and now I'm able to do this with my kids and I'm able to do this. I mean,
yeah.
that's the motivation I need, right? I'm like, done. Let's keep it going. But
Come on.
if you don't engage on Instagram, then you lose a lot of the humanity of your audience.
That is so good. I know. And I heard a lot of people, and you have an amazing, amazing agency. So, you guys, if you don't want to do all this stuff, you can just hire Michelle
Yeah, we'll do
Screw
it.
and they'll do an amazing job for you. So it's not like this and that. Like it's like if you don't really have the time or the resource, whatever it is, and you can just outsource it. That's why Michelle and her incredible team exists because they do a great job. They've taken people from here to there. But I do love how you kind of touched on the person. And I know in your agency, you still make us be personable people
Yeah.
because it's you that they're coming for. But how do you help people? That's such a great mindset anyway. Who are we serving today? It's not about us. It's never about you. It's all about them all
Yeah.
the time. How do you help people really give the best value for others when we're kind of more self-consumed? consumed and focused, right? Like, how do you help people be like, no, 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 get out of your own head? Like, what is it that you're going to help other people? Is there any kind of ninja tricks that you teach people that really help them show up to their true self and value and give high value on social media?
Yeah. So a lot of people I work with are women, and they actually like this is actually their sweet spot, right? Is they actually do want to show up and serve. They just
Mm,
don't know how to package it in a way that people can consume, right? And
so good.
so I think that a lot of times, especially I'm guessing your audience, they really are they're in business to help people,
Yeah.
right? And even if you're in business and you're like, I don't really like social media, but I do like numbers. I do like to understand what my audience actually wants. And I do like to whatever, maybe you're super into ads and you're like, social media is a great place to start because you can put content out there, get immediate feedback. That makes your ads better. It also makes you understand your audience so much more because you have the actual language that people are using about your product. So it's just smart which way you cut it. But if you're struggling to actually put yourself out there online and get comfortable, you either have to dive in and just commit to 30 days of doing it and get, because that forces you to just like get over it. Or if you need to dip your toe in, then using an app, find someone that you like to send videos to. I use Marco Polo, and Marco Polo, you record something, it's asynchronous messages. So they're video messages, and then you send it to a friend. That helps you get used to seeing your face on camera
That's
and
good.
getting your face in the screen, because a lot of people really struggle with just getting over their like actually seeing their face and hearing their voice all the time. I have been
Yes.
talking for so long that I'm over it. Like, this is just who I am. I'm always up for improving, but also this is just what it is. But you have to get to that point where you are spending a lot less time thinking about you, how you look, or how you're perceived, and more time thinking about what does this person need? How can I create this message in the easiest way possible so that they can consume and they can do it?
So good. Keep it simple, sister. One of my biggest business principles, KISS. If a fifth grader cannot understand and apply this, ain't nobody going to do it. Right. And that's, I think, the whole AI thing, too. Going back to the beginning of this call, AI does simplify a lot of things that used to be maybe a little harder, where it can just be kind of like a drop skip. I would love, just kind of in closing here, what are some of your favorite things in AI that you've just loved? And I think we talked at the beginning, just ChatGPT, you're loving that, but Claude gives you a lot. What are some of the favorites that you have really just gleaned into recently?
Yeah, I've really loved using Claude to do a ton of research because you can use Claude Cowork. And so it can use your browser to do things. And I recently had it analyze my Instagram against some other people that were, some of them were in the social media space, some of them weren't. I just like how they create content. And with the prompt that I used, I was like, hey, I just want you to analyze my content, tell me what I'm doing really well, things that I can improve, and then do the same thing, pair me up with these other creators and say what things I should start incorporating that they're doing that would be good for me. And I love it because you can look, it goes through your content, it goes through their content, and it's like, this is objectively like
Yep.
this is, here are some things that you could do better. And I love that. So I've been doing a lot of, for my clients, a lot of deep client work with doing some research like that. But also you can train it to do stuff for you. Like, hey, I want my social media headlines every week every morning in my inbox, and it'll go do that and do it for you. You don't have to go search the blogs or even type it in Google. And so there's just a lot of things that you can streamline to help you stay on top of your game and to get your time back.
Yes, I just exactly did that. I went and put my Instagram against other people in my industry and sent it to the team. And I was like, look at this. I said, I want to increase by 3,000 followers by September. And it's like, here is what you're going to do. And here's the competitors. And this is how they're doing. And this is the gap between you and them. I mean, like, man, you know how much money that would cost us in the past? How much time? And
Yeah.
then the emotion you have in it. Like, oh, do you no, it's like a total non-emotional like thing. Just like, hey, they're doing better here. This is where you're doing good. This is where you can bridge the gap. And here, let's fly to September. And then it's so cool to me that you can hand that off. Personally, we have big businesses, you and I. So personally, I cannot be in it all the time. I used to always be it. I was the Instagram. It's funny. My brother-in-law sent me a screenshot of like I think my team wrote something like I asked God for the big enchilada, the whole enchilada, something like that. It's not necessarily how I completely talk or whatever, but there's a lot of things that I give my team now at this point, like Grayson, like, hey, he's like, I'm going to put this on my 18th point of prayer. I'm like, you should ask God for the big enchilada. That post actually did really well. well. And it's, you know, it's good wording, but it's funny. You got to test things. And then I always know what, like you said, you get real time feedback. And praise God, I have three brothers, and then I have two or three brothers in law. So I got six total. They're going to tell you how it is all the time. They're not going to
Oh
hold
yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Talk about real
Yeah.
life feedback immediately. But okay, another thing that I'd love to know about Instagram and how you've grown. So I mean, you are very humble, but take us from like you, yourself, and you to building a very successful multiple seven figure company on social media, on Instagram, right? Specifically building it out. Is like, tell us that story. Cause I think it's very inspiring for the mom that's listening. That's like, man, I do love social media, or I do love crochet, or I do love lemonade. I don't know, whatever it is that you're passionate about. Michelle decided, hey, I kind of love Instagram and I can help people. Help us understand that journey, like your inspiration from start to where you are now.
Yes. Well, I will say that just for the person who's like, I love crafting, I love knitting, I first started my first business on Etsy when I was pregnant with my first baby, and I started making handmade dresses. And I just started, I was like, I'm going to do this. And it led to a lot of different things, but it led me here. And so whatever it is, I say just get started, because you
Yep.
just do not know. I mean, when I started back in the old days, there was no Instagram, and I didn't know that this was a thing, you know? So that's just for that. But when I started, I really realized that there was a gap between what business people were teaching and what was happening on social media. So you had all of these women come on and they were awesome at Instagram. And you had all of these marketing bros telling them what to do, but they had never experienced what it was like to have an audience that was actually engaged, wanted to see their content. And so they really didn't understand how to help these women. I mean, did they come in real confident and tell them exactly what to do and it was wrong? Absolutely. But they were confident about being wrong. That's just how they were. But you had these women who were looking around for help with their business, and none of the bros had ever built a business like they were building it. They didn't understand what it meant to be the face of the brand. They didn't understand what it meant to have 5 kids and you were doing this alongside of it. They didn't understand that if you do not show up as you online, then that would impact your sales. They didn't understand how someone could make millions with affiliate affiliate income. They didn't understand any of this. And so I had all these women who were making good money, and they were scared of the backside of the business because that's not what they signed up for.
Yeah.
And so I came on and was like, I can see you're burned out with Instagram. I can see that you need help with the strategy, as well as like the email, the Pinterest, the blog. Like you need to do that in order for you to remain the face of your brand. You cannot continue to do it all. That's kind of the gap I saw, is that the industry was moving faster than there were people to come and help these women. So they had these huge platforms and no one to help them. And I had done the back end of businesses, I had grown them. And so I was very excited to be able to help them. So that's how I got started actually helping. They'd be like, oh, well, would you write my emails? Like, would you do it? I was like, yes, I got it. Let's do this. Let's help you launch this course, And so I helped them do all of that. And in the process, I just really fell in love with these type of businesses. No one is talking to them. No one is speaking to them that really understand what it means to raise a business alongside of raising kids, and the complexities of that, and the mindset that goes with that, and also the help that you need when you have this audience that is they're not just numbers. Like I remember one of my clients, she's like, well, this guy told me that I should change my pricing on my course and double it because I have 200,000 followers. So if 10% buy, then, and this crazy number. And she's like, but I mean, I don't think that my people will pay that much, but I decided to go at it anyway because this guy was an expert. And you know what? She knew her audience better than he did. And
Totally.
she raised the price. It was above what they could pay. She knew that, but she was like, well, he must know because he's a guy and he's really confident. And so she did it. And then her course sales dropped. And she was like, what do I do now? And I just think that there's such a need for women who get it to show up and help other women. And so I feel like it's been such a blessing and so fun to be able to meet these women at this cross section and say, hey, let's do this. I've done it. You can trust me and let's do it.
Come on, women helping women. Let's go, Michelle. I think you nailed it on the head. I was talking about the long game in the inner circle, and 54% of women will get burned out. 76% will get burned out, closed doors because they can't handle it all, right? There's a lot more on our shoulders than our counterparts. And they don't have a Michelle undergirding them saying, girl, I got the back end, you do the front end, let's go. You know, like I know what it is to have to do this and the other thing. Like there's grace. And that's the exact reason that women who are listening, you know, your heart is like pumping right now. You're like, oh gosh, this episode is telling me I need to do it and I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it. I want to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. You're obedient. Someone's waiting for your yes today. I always have a post-it note over there. Today I'm someone's answer, right? That's what I do. What I do. That's why we have this podcast. That's why. And I love how you even hit on the head. We would not know each other if you did not jump into Instagram. And I am so thankful you did, that you got a time on a stage, that I beelined you off the stage to the back of the room of the Hard Rock Cafe, San Diego, to be able to have this conversation, to have you in my life. And I just love following you. And you always make me laugh. I mean, you always make me laugh, which is so fun. I always think, don't take life so seriously. We don't promise tomorrow. I almost died at 31. So I'm just like, hey, I actually met this awesome perimenopause doc yesterday, and her whole career was in hospice. Check this out. She helped 100 people go on from this life into the next. And so I said, man, you must be blowing up. It takes 6 months to get into you. Like, she had this podcast go viral. Her brother's a Navy SEAL. I'm going to send it to you because you will love her. She's funny. Her brother's funny. And she said, Al, you know what? She pointed to this whole stack of bookshelves. She goes, that's my retirement plan right there. That's my exit strategy. She goes, I'll go back to hospice. And I had the pleasure of watching people go from this life to the next. And she goes, not one of them told me they wanted to work more. Not one of them said, oh, wow, I really wish I did that other project. Da, da, da. No, it was all about their family, right? Making memories for their family. And I think, Michelle, you create so many opportunities for women to be present moms while still showing up big in the world, and then empowering them to do it for others. And I thank you for that work, because you do it with excellence. You're also like chill. I know you're like ready, but like, I think I need to like come over and ask the children, like, what is mom really like? Is she really funny and chill, or is it crazy? I mean, in all honesty, what's it like at this house?
They'll tell you. Listen, no censors over here. They'll tell you.
Oh, kids have zero filter, and they, out of the mouth of babes, they speak. I mean, my kids are my best friends. I love hanging with them. Like, you guys are hilarious. Like, you literally just say it how it is. And I need that in my life. But one final thing, my love, anything you'd want those listeners to think about, or anything else that you feel like that is very important for this talk today?
Yeah. I mean, just with what you have been saying about, if your heart is pumping and you're like, yes, no, I would just say you probably already know what you're supposed to do. So stop wasting time and choose it. Because there's so much power in, I always think about my grandma Jo. She was 5 foot nothing. I am not 5 foot nothing. I'm like 5'8", but she would have loved to have a platform. She would have loved to be able to do what I do. So anytime I'm like, oh, but then I have to learn something new, and I'm like, stop your boobing, Michelle. Just pull up your big girl pants and get to work, because no one's had these opportunities or these choices before. So the fact that you have the choice to do the thing is an immense privilege. Do not waste it. Start right now.
Boom. You heard it from her. Mic drop on the way out with some dance moves if you're watching on the YouTube. Michelle, tell everyone where they can find you, my friend.
Yeah, if you type in I am Michelle Gifford anywhere, you'll find me. Come to Instagram. I'm also on YouTube, podcasts. I'm all the places, but come find me on Instagram. That's where I post the most. And it's also, listen, I'm fun. It's going to be great.
Fun. She is party pants. I am Michelle, hear me roar on Instagram, and she has a lot of fun. And that's what I love too. I always say life equals fun. If it's not fun, I'm not doing it. I'm getting old here, right? I'm closer to 50 than 40. I'm just like, if I'm not having fun, I'm just not going to do it, right? And so I love, you can feel that, like that's a palpable thing through your brand, your colors, your style, just who you are, what you represent. And so thank you so much for being on here today, my love. It has been such a joy, and so many valuable nuggets that you just dropped like they were hot on everyone. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. You guys go do it. I'm excited to see what you do.
Yes. Tag her and everything so she can go shout you out. Yay. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. You've been tuning in to For His Glory CEO podcast, where unshakable faith meets bold business strategy to equip you for your next level. If this blessed you, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it. And if you're a businesswoman that's looking for the right circle to scale big, we got you. Click the show notes and hear more about our For His Glory CEO community, which is one of a kind, amazing. And remember, we're not just building businesses, we're building the kingdom of God. Until next time.